Every country has its own collection of delicacies, and a fair few of them are utterly disgusting. These stomach-turning concoctions are made using ingredients that would make your skin crawl and special techniques that will leave you gagging. For those with a strong stomach, the behind-the-scenes of these creations can be quite intriguing. But beware, as the saying goes, sometimes too much knowledge can make you sick. I'm your host, Carter Knowles, and joining today is serial adventurer and food critic Gabe Wilson to explain more. Hi, Gabe.
Hey, Carter. Thanks for having me. Okay, let's get right into this. I was in Japan earlier this year and came across fresh, or not quite so fresh, orange juice. I'm not taking the pith here. Honestly, this is true. A recent television show will back me up when it revealed the making of this specially fermented orange drink. Firstly, the oranges are left to rot in a dark, damp corner for weeks. Then the employees take off their gloves and get ready to get their hands dirty, literally. They dip their hands into the fermented orange juice and start stirring. That's right, no spoons or any signs of a sterile utensil, just their grimy, germ-infested hands. As the mixture is stirred, it starts to release a putrid smell that fills the entire room. The sight of the slimy, pulpy mixture is enough to make anyone's stomach churn. Finally, after several minutes of stirring, the fermented orange is now ready to be served. The taste is sour and bitter with an aftertaste that lingers long after you have finished drinking it. The texture is slimy and pulpy with chunks of rotting oranges floating around in it. So if you're up for a spot of poisoning caused by germs and contamination, then knock yourself out. Go for it.
That sounds delightful. What did they decide to call this concoction?
That's the thing. From asking about and doing some research, it doesn't appear to have a name. I guess you go up and ask for a glass of rotting death.
Oh, I can't wait to hear what you have next.
Kuchihika Mizake. Only the bravest of souls would dare to consume Kuchihika Mizake. Some may consider this next bile-inducing drink as medicinal, but in modern times, it's usually only used in rituals as an offering to the gods. The only thing I recommend offering it to is the toilet or sink. Firstly, individuals chew on rice, breaking down the starches and enzymes in their saliva. Yes, you heard that right. They actually chew the rice. Yes, rice with spit. Yum, yum. Then the chewed rice is mixed with koji, which is a mold that can grow on rice, and then add water in a small container. The mixture is then left to ferment for a few days, during which time the chewed rice and mold start to break down the sugars in the rice, creating a gut-wrenching concoction. If the process doesn't make you feel sick enough, the end result definitely will. The smell is overpoweringly pungent, and the texture resembling a cup of sick. In conclusion, stay away from this drink unless you want to experience the ultimate test of your gag reflex.
Oh man, I knew this would be a bad episode. Come on. What's next?
Still not the worst on the list. That will come later. However, hold on to your taste buds and your stomach, folks, because I've got one for you wine lovers out there. Introducing baby mice wine. The
What?
South Korean and Chinese delicacy that's sure to leave you feeling squeaky clean inside and out. This drink is made by taking baby mice that are less than 72 hours old for a Dunkin' rice wine and not letting them back up for air, like ever. It is made using only healthy live mice. God forbid if one had a slight cold, it would taint and ruin the whole bottle, and that would make you very sick indeed. This so-called healthy potion is supposed to have healing properties, but not for the poor mice. Just be sure to bring a strong stomach and strong conscience because you're about to go where no wine lover has gone before. Around 12 of these baby mice are left to ferment in each bottle for about 12 to 14 months. It has been said that the smell of the wine smells like petrol. Do not smoke and drink at the same time.
I need to call my agent. I did not sign up for this.
How about a frog smoothie? In Peru, they have a drink made out of frogs. They get a frog when it's still alive and hit its head off the counter right in front of you. Then they stick it into a blender, add some herb and spices, give it a good blitz, strain it to remove all the lumpy bits, and hey, frog smoothie. Now apparently it's an aphrodisiac. Tell you what, there is nothing that would get me in the mood more than a glass of mashed up frog. They get the poor froggies out of Lake Titicaca. I've heard they are going extinct. That shows just how much of this stuff they drink.
Oh, please, what have I done to deserve this? When will this end?
Okay, I've saved the best, or you could say worst for last. Ready? Who needs a compost toilet as an eco-friendly way to get rid of body waste? Why don't we just turn it into alcohol? Would you be looking for a wine that tastes good but doesn't smell too beautiful? Prepare to have your mind blown. Tongsul is a traditional Korean medicine that packs a punch with a 9% alcohol content. Not too shabby, right? But here's the kicker. The key ingredient is poo. Yep, you heard that right. Poo from a 4 to 7-year-old human child, refrigerated for a few days, mixed with water, and left to ferment overnight. The smell is so intense it could make your nose bleed, but fear not. The concoction is then mixed with boiled non-glutinous rice, protein, baby, and glutinous rice, because apparently it's anti-inflammatory and pain-relieving, who knew? And left to ferment for a minimum of 7 days. The result is a yellow-brown liquid that looks like something you'd find in a sewer. It smells like, well, poo, and has a taste that's sour and rice wine-like. And get this, it's supposed to cure everything from broken bones to epilepsy. So if you're feeling adventurous, and don't mind potentially smelling like poo, bottoms up. Sure, it might sound a little bit gross, but think about it. What's more natural than recycling the waste products of our own bodies into a tasty beverage?
Well, Gabe, I'm lost for words. Thank you very much for coming in and talking about such wonderful beverages. I say that with the utmost sarcasm. I guess you're coming back next week for some incredible foods that you've had the pleasure of tasting?
I'll be here, Carter. Can't wait. Thank you very much for having me.
Oh, great. Well, I really cannot wait for that. I've been your host, Carter Knowles. He's been Gabe Wilson. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next Friday right here on Jodi Behaves YouTube. Please subscribe, or Gabe is coming around to give you a drink.